welcome to Scrap Value. My name is Val. So today I have a project share for you. It is a 4th of July themed project that I'm going to be working on today. But before I get into that, I'm going to show you the paper collection that I'm going to be using. Actually, I'm only going to be using one sheet of the 12 by 12 paper in this collection, but I'll show you the whole collection because I think it is so cute. But anyway, I ordered this from Amazon. It's Carta Bella paper and it's Americana Summer. I thought this was a really good deal because it was marked down to $35.99 or something like that, and it comes with the 12 by 12 pattern paper. I believe there are 12 sheets. It comes with all these other goodies. So it comes with frames and tags. This is all summary, 4th of July. Here's all the different pieces that comes in the frames and tags. There's ephemera. And here's all the pieces that come in the ephemera. It comes with puffy stickers. You can see all those. Comes with enamel dots. If you're interested in this from Amazon, then you should check it out soon, and I will put the link in the description below. And chipboard accents. We have some coordinating cardstock in solid colors. There are 6, and they're double-sided, so you actually would get 2 blues, 2 reds, 2 of this, I don't know, turquoise? I don't know if this is navy blue or black, and kind of a cream colored or khaki, and a light blue. So they're double-sided, so you actually get 2 of each color. So like if you needed 2 reds, you would use this, and then one of these other colors would have red on the opposite side. And it came with this paper collection. You can see all the different papers here. So it comes with cut aparts and a sheet of stickers. And I believe there's only one. These are also double-sided, but I believe there's only one of each sheet. I'm not sure. Let's check it out. Anyway, you get a sheet, a 12 by 12 sheet of stickers, element stickers. Here is some really cute paper with bows. Bows are in, right? Patriotic colors. So that's that side. And then this side is patterned in a real pretty blue. So a cut apart sheet. So this is perfect for little mini albums, right? Or scrapbooks, your full-size scrapbooks. On the opposite side, we have jars of flowers with an American flag. Here we've got a plaid pattern with stars. The opposite side is a patterned paper with small polka dots, I guess it is. And some flowers with some red, white, and blue and green leaves. Opposite side is a kind of a light blue and with a faint print. Another cut apart sheet. And then on the opposite side, we have a rocking chair with a quilt draped over one of the arms of the chair. Here we have boxes of fruits, strawberries, blueberries, watermelon, and the opposite side is patterned solid red with darker stars. Here we've got a general store pattern, and the opposite side is a, kind of reminds me of a watermelon maybe. And we have a sheet of cut aparts or journaling cards. And on the opposite side we have, it looks like tote bags with bows. And then we have this quilt pattern. Love that. With some light blue stripes on the back. Light blue and white stripes. Here we have ceramic jars. Different shapes and sizes. We have a solid, that's either navy blue or black. It's kind of hard to tell in my lighting here in this room. Another set of cut aparts with all kinds of patterns, prints, phrases. We have white and red stripes on the back of that piece. Ooh, I love this one. Floral pattern with reds and blues and whites. And on the back, it's kind of a solid red with a faint print on there. So that is the 12 by 12 paper. And that's the entire collection. And so the next thing I'm going to do is get into my project share. It's not my design. It is a treat box. The designer was Paul Ford. I watched his tutorial on YouTube, and I'll link that below so you can see the original. He did it with Christmas paper, and you could do it with Christmas paper or Halloween paper or whatever paper you like. I'm going to use this patriotic Americana Summer paper. I am also going to use the ephemera pieces and perhaps the frames and tags to make a little tag for my treat box. And so I may use these and some jute twine, but you could use ribbon or baker's twine, are some possibilities here. And I'm also going to ink the edges and of my treat box, and so perhaps some ink. And I think those are the tools that you will need to, if you want to make it just like I do. Okay, so on to the project share. This is what I am making today. These are, well, I call them star-topped firecrackers. What they are is they're just little treat boxes. And they're like crackers, you know, the crackers that you have around the holidays. Well, I'm using that Americana paper to make these for the 4th of July. This is the special 250th anniversary of the birth of our nation and our independence. And so I thought it would be fun to make some special treat boxes. So in this box I have some candies, I actually have Jolly Ranchers, wrapped Jolly Rancher candies in here. But you could put in chocolates or I thought Red Hots or Hot Tamales or even Starburst would be cute. M&Ms. What I'm going to do on the one that I make for you is I'm going to fill them with these little Hershey's Nuggets that I have wrapped in red, white, and blue papers to make them a little more patriotic and festive. And I'm not sure how many will fit in here. I think maybe 4 will fit in here, but we'll see. So the first thing I need to do is pick out the paper that I want to use. And I was thinking that I would use, it doesn't matter the direction of the paper since these are double-ended. So I think I might use some kind of pattern paper. Let's see here. What do I want to use? Oh, I like this. I love this. I'm going to use this paper. That is so cute, this quilted paper. Americana Quilt is the name of this paper. So, what you do to make this is you start with a 6 by 5.5 piece of cardstock. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do some scoring and some punching so that we end up with this piece of paper to look like this. So the tools that you need, scissors, of course, some glue, and some kind of adhesive, your favorite adhesive. I use liquid glue. And then you're gonna need this envelope punch board. Now, if you don't have an envelope punch board, you can still make these, and I'm gonna link below not only to the original tutorial from Paul Ford where I learned to make this, but also another one of his videos where he offers tips on how to come up with the punches if you don't have an envelope punch board. So I will link both of those below, but I'm going to show you how to do this using your envelope punch board. And you're going to also need, of course, a paper trimmer, and a scoreboard. I have the all-in-one works tool. So let's get started. Okay, we're starting with 6 by 5.5 cardstock. And again, I'm using the Carta Bella Americana Summer collection. This piece is the Americana quilt. So I'm going to trim the branding strip off here first thing. And then I am going to trim this down to be 6 inches. 6 inches by 5.5 inches. I'm going to go ahead and cut my 2 pieces while I'm at it here. So I got 2 6-inch pieces, but this one also needs to be trimmed to 5.5. Okay, I'm going to save this 1-inch strip because I can use this, cut it in half to line my chocolate candies. Okay, so then the next thing we're going to do is some scoring. Take your 6 by 5.5 piece of cardstock and put it on the 6-inch side. And what you're going to do is you're going to score 1 inch on each side. So I'm going to score at 1 and 5. And that'll give me my 1 inch on each side. Okay? And then I'm going to turn it to the 5.5 inch side. And I'm going, here's the sheet of what my score lines will look like. I've done this on each side, and now I've turned it this way, and I'm going to score at 1 inch across, 1 inch intervals. So I'm going to score at 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and that gives you a 1/2 inch section on the side. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is on the same 5 1/2 inch side across the top, now I'm going to score just from the top of the paper down to the 1 inch score line. Okay, you'll see your 1 inch score line across here. We're just going to go from here to here at 1/2 inch intervals. So it's going to look, you're going to have sections that look like this. So I'm going to start at 1/2 inch, and I'm going to go down to the 1 inch score line, and then I'm going to go over to 1 1/2 inches, because we already have the score lines at 1, 2, 3, so we're going to go to 1 1/2 inches, and then we're going to go to 2 1/2 inches. Then we're going to go to 3 1/2. We're going to go to 4 1/2. And that should do it. Now we've got our 1 inch. You can't see them very well, but they are there. My score lines are there. So I'm going to flip this around. Now on this side, I've already got the 1/2 inch score line. So I'm going to score in the 1 1/2 and the 2 1/2 and the 3 1/2. So I'm going to score on this side. I'm going to score. I got the 1/2 inch score line, so I'm going to score at 1, just from the top down to the 1 inch score line. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so then I'm done scoring. I'm going to fold on my score lines, just like this. Okay, I'm going to crease these down. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do is punch. I'm going to punch these kind of diamond shaped or teardrop shaped, or they kind of look like Hershey's Kisses, 2 Hershey's Kisses back to back. And I do that with my envelope punch. So I'm going to take my first 1/2 inch section. Start from this side. My first 1/2 inch section here, and I'm going to bring in my envelope punch, and I'm going to line it up at the 1 inch mark, and I'm going to punch. Now, I have to stand up to use all my weight on this because of the thickness of the paper. So so you've got your first punch, then you bring your next section down and you repeat that again. You line it up at the 1 inch mark, punch, next section, punch, next section, punch, next section, punch, and then at the top, I'm not going to fold this over, but I am going to punch from the top. Okay? So then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm just going to punch from the top on this side. And I'm going to fold that over. The first section, put it in at the 1-inch mark on the punch board. I cannot do this unless I stand up. So once again, I'm just going to keep folding each section. Phew. Now that's done. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to give my ends here a little bit of a curve, just a little bit of a curve, so that, because as you can see, these, that was my first one I made. They're kind of rounded. These ends are kind of rounded. So just to assist with that, I'm just going to take my thumb and my first finger, and I'm just going to kind of bend them down a little bit, just to assist with that. You don't want to crease it, you just want to give it a little bit of a bend, like this. Okay. And then I'm going to pinch I'm going to give each of these sections here with the score lines a crease to help it form into the star shape. So I'm going to do a valley fold on each score line. A valley fold is when you make the two edges look like a valley. If you went up like that, it would be a mountain, but if you go like that, it's called a valley fold. So I'm going to pinch each section into a valley fold. Just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to glue this 1/2-inch strip to the other side. Just like that. So I'm taking my liquid glue. And bring this side over. Match it up with the edge. Okay, then make sure that it's adhered really well. And then we're going to shape the ends into our star shape, just like that. Just use your fingers. I use my thumbs, my pointer fingers, my middle fingers, just to shape that kind of into the star shape that I want. on each end. Like that. And then I'm going to tie the ends. You can use, like I said, you can use ribbon, or I'm just going to use this jute because it's what I have out here. And I give myself a generous piece because it makes tying the bow easier. And then I'm going to find a tag that I want to put on my tags and frames packet. Okay, let's see what I got here. I kind of like Summer Days with You make me so happy. So I think I'll go with that. So I just need to punch a hole. Okay, so I'm going to tie up my first end by just laying it down on flat on the table, putting my twine around it. Start to tie the bow. I'm going to get it, kind of shape it as I go so that I have the star shape that I want. You want to pull it tight enough so your candy doesn't fall out. And then I'm going to tie the bow like that. Put it back into the star shape I want. My star shape got a little wonky here, but it's pretty good. Trim my tail a little bit. And then I'm going to fill it with these candies. See how many I can fit in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 fit pretty well. I'm going to tie the other end. First I'm going to tie the knot here, but then I'm going to add my little tag. Before I tie the bow. Okay. Shape my bow the way I want it. Trim my tail. And there we go. My star. Star topped. Treat holder. My firecracker. See, wouldn't these look so cute? A bunch of them just in a bowl. Or some kind of a dish. I think that's adorable. So I'm going to make a few more. I thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this project share. You'll find the links below to Paul Ford's original video and to the video that has the tips on how to make the punches if you don't have an envelope punch. And if you decide to give this a try, I hope you'll let me know below how it worked out for you. Any questions or comments, I'd love to hear them. So thanks a lot for joining me today, and I am looking forward to seeing you again for another crafty video. So thanks for joining me at Scrap Value. Bye for now, friends.